Have you ever thought a bug could be worth more than beef? Or that a leg of ham could cost more than your rent? Around the world, the definition of valuable food is changing. On one side, we have grasshoppers, once feared as crop-destroying pests, now farmed by the hundreds of millions each year in high-tech facilities. On the other side, we have Iberian ham, produced in the forests of Spain and Portugal, carefully cured for months, even years, and sold for thousands of dollars apiece. Two completely different worlds. One is rooted in innovation, the other in tradition, yet both reveal a deeper truth. Our food system is evolving, and so are our values. In China, locusts and grasshoppers are no longer enemies of the farm. They've become a billion-dollar industry, feeding a growing market that craves protein in more sustainable, affordable ways. Insect farming uses less water, less land, and produces fewer emissions than traditional livestock. It's a glimpse into the future. Meanwhile, in Europe, especially across Spain and Portugal, cured ham remains a symbol of culture, craftsmanship, and culinary luxury. Behind each leg of ham is a story of pigs raised freely under oak trees, of artisans who follow generations-old methods, and of an ecosystem that thrives on balance between nature and farming. So, how do these two foods, so different in appearance, history, and perception, both end up on the global stage of valuable protein? Today, we'll explore how China farms and processes billions of grasshoppers for meat. Then, we'll journey to the forests of Iberia to see how one of the world's most expensive hams is made. From pests to premium foods, this is a story of transformation, adaptation, and the future of what we eat. In many parts of the world, locusts are still seen as a nightmare, devouring crops, destroying livelihoods, and leaving fields barren. For centuries, they've been treated as a menace, something to be eradicated with chemicals or fire. But in China, a bold idea has taken root. What if, instead of fighting them, we turned locusts into food? Driven by the twin pressures of food security and environmental sustainability, China has become a global leader in insect farming, especially grasshoppers, a close relative of the locust. As demand for alternative protein sources continues to rise, especially in densely populated regions, the country has reimagined the insect not as a threat, but as a resource. Every year, around 500 million grasshoppers are bred and harvested in China to supply a growing global market that now consumes over 1,000 tons of insect protein annually. The transformation begins in large, net-covered enclosures that replicate a natural environment. Here, the breeding process is managed with surprising precision. Grasshoppers are monitored from the moment they're introduced into the breeding grounds. Mating is allowed to occur naturally, but under strict observation. Females, when ready, use their ovipositors to dig into the soil and lay eggs. This step marks the beginning of a carefully controlled cycle. Egg incubation is one of the most sensitive stages. Temperature, humidity, and soil conditions are closely monitored to maximize survival rates. Once the eggs hatch, the young nymphs are separated into smaller enclosures to ensure uniform growth. This phase isn't just about letting nature take its course. It's about optimizing every variable, from light exposure to airflow, to ensure that development is steady, synchronized, and efficient. As the grasshoppers grow, they molt multiple times, shedding their old exoskeletons and developing new ones. This is when feeding becomes critical. Nutrient-dense feed is provided constantly, especially before and after each molt. Their bodies need large amounts of protein, minerals, and moisture to regenerate their outer shells and support rapid tissue growth. Their digestive systems are remarkably efficient, allowing them to convert feed into body mass at rates far higher than conventional livestock. Within just a few weeks, the insects reach full adult size, typically about 4 to 6 centimeters in length. Their wings are fully developed, their bodies firm, and their nutritional value at its peak. But timing is everything. Farmers often wait until evening to harvest. Cooler temperatures make the grasshoppers less active, and they tend to remain still on enclosure walls or nets, making manual collection easier and reducing escape. Harvesting methods vary. In smaller operations, workers use handheld nets or containers. In larger farms, semi-automated collection systems are employed to speed up the process while maintaining hygiene. Once gathered, the insects are chilled to immobilize them before being processed. usually by roasting, drying, or grinding, depending on their final use. China's locust farming boom is part of a larger global shift toward insect protein. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has actively encouraged the use of insects as a sustainable alternative to traditional livestock. Not only are they rich in protein and essential amino acids, but they also require significantly less water, land, and feed. They emit fewer greenhouse gases, and their farming produces minimal waste. Countries like Thailand, the Netherlands, and Kenya are also embracing insect farming. Thailand has a long tradition of eating insects and now supports hundreds of commercial cricket and grasshopper farms. The Netherlands is pioneering industrial-scale production of insect protein for animal feed and human consumption. In Kenya, black soldier fly larvae are being produced to supplement animal diets and reduce pressure on fish meal sources. Still, challenges remain. Sanitation standards must be strictly enforced to avoid contamination, especially when scaling operations for international markets. Insects are animals, and like any food source, they are susceptible to disease if raised in poor conditions. Regulations for insect farming are still being developed in many countries, creating legal gray areas for producers and exporters. And then there's cultural perception. In much of the Western world, the idea of eating bugs still triggers disgust. Despite their nutritional value and environmental benefits, insects face an uphill battle in global acceptance. Marketing plays a huge role in bridging this gap. Many companies are now creating insect-based products that are ground into flour or hidden in protein bars to make the transition easier for consumers. For China, however, the approach is clear: scale, efficiency, and sustainability. By turning a traditional pest into a high-protein asset, the country isn't just solving a food problem, it's rewriting the way we think about what belongs on our plates. In many Southeast Asian countries, eating insects isn't seen as strange or shocking. It's just food. In Vietnam, street vendors serve grasshoppers stir-fried with lemongrass and chili. In Thailand, you'll find them deep-fried and crunchy, often seasoned with lime leaves and chili salt, sold in paper cones like popcorn. In Cambodia, they're tossed in soy sauce and garlic, served up as a savory snack alongside a cold drink. For generations, these dishes have been part of everyday life. Accessible, affordable, and deeply rooted in local culinary traditions. What sets these cultures apart isn't just their willingness to eat insects, but the creativity in how they prepare them. Texture, aroma, and flavor are all considered. Grasshoppers, in particular, are valued for their crispiness when fried and their ability to absorb seasoning. They aren't eaten out of desperation, but out of preference. Beyond cultural acceptance, there's solid nutritional logic behind this choice. Grasshoppers are incredibly rich in protein. Some species contain up to 70% protein by dry weight. They're low in saturated fat, free of cholesterol, and packed with micronutrients like iron, zinc, and vitamin B12. When you compare them gram for gram, grasshoppers can rival, or even surpass, the nutritional content of beef, chicken, and fish, and they achieve all this with a fraction of the environmental impact. Farming insects requires dramatically less water and land. A kilogram of beef might take over 15,000 liters of water to produce. Grasshoppers? Just a few hundred. They don't need antibiotics or hormones. And they convert feed into body mass with remarkable efficiency. That means fewer resources used, less waste produced, and far lower greenhouse gas emissions. This makes insect protein one of the most sustainable food sources available today. As climate change and population growth push us to reconsider traditional agriculture, bugs are stepping forward as serious contenders in the future protein race. Western countries, once resistant, are beginning to catch on. But rather than serving whole grasshoppers on dinner plates, companies are opting for a more subtle approach. Insect protein is now being ground into powders and used in protein bars, cookies, and crackers. The insects disappear visually, but their nutritional benefits remain. For consumers unfamiliar or uncomfortable with the idea, this approach makes insect-based foods more approachable. Startups across Europe and North America are also working hard to change perceptions. They're investing in branding, packaging, and flavor innovation. Think stylish snack bars made from cricket flour, or pasta enriched with grasshopper protein. These products don't look or taste like bugs. And that's exactly the point. They offer the benefits without the barrier. By hiding the insect and highlighting the value, these companies are shifting the narrative. What was once considered strange is now being marketed as smart, a high-performance, environmentally responsible protein source for a world in need of better options. Insects may not yet be part of every kitchen, but they've already found a place in protein powders, gym bags, and food tech shelves. Slowly, the world is beginning to see what millions in Asia have known for centuries. Bugs can be both delicious and practical. From the buzzing farms of Asia, we now fly over to the ancient oak forests of Spain and Portugal, where another culinary marvel awaits. Here, far from the high-speed efficiency of insect farming, food is crafted slowly, with patience and precision passed down through generations. In this part of the world, a single leg of ham can take years to produce. And it all begins not in factories, but under the dappled shade of home oaks. As the map shifts westward, so does our story, from the future of food to one of its most luxurious traditions. Let's take a closer look. In the sun-drenched landscapes of southwestern Spain and parts of Portugal, there's a forest unlike any other. It's not dense with towering trees or crawling with undergrowth. Instead, it's an open, peaceful woodland dotted with home oaks and cork trees. This is the Dehesa, a semi-wild ecosystem where pigs roam freely, foraging for acorns, wild herbs, and whatever else the forest floor offers. And from this landscape, one of the world's most exquisite delicacies is born: Jamon Iberico. Cured ham has been part of European cuisine for over 2,000 years. The Romans salted and preserved pork legs long before refrigeration existed, turning necessity into tradition. But Iberico ham, in particular, has evolved into a luxury product with unmatched status. Today, a single leg from a top-grade Pata Negra pig can sell for up to $3,000. It's not just food, it's a symbol of craftsmanship, heritage, and regional pride. What makes it so special? It all begins with the pigs themselves. Iberico pigs are a unique breed, known for their black hooves and ability to store fat inside the muscle tissue, a trait that gives the meat its signature marbling. But breed alone isn't enough. It's the lifestyle that elevates these animals to something extraordinary. In the Dehesa, pigs live in near-natural conditions. They roam for hours each day, exercising their muscles and feeding freely on acorns during the Montanera season, when oak trees drop their nuts. This diet, rich in oleic acid, infuses the meat with complex, nutty flavors and helps create the melt-in-your-mouth texture Iberico ham is famous for. The pigs are not confined. They are not rushed. And that freedom, that balance with nature, shapes every aspect of the final product. Animal welfare is not a marketing slogan here. It's the foundation of the industry. The pigs live stress-free lives, free from crowding or industrial confinement. This not only improves their well-being but also enhances the quality of the meat. Stressed animals produce tougher meat with uneven fat distribution. Happy animals, on the other hand, produce something close to culinary perfection. To protect this heritage, the European Union enforces strict labeling and certification systems. Only hams that meet specific breeding, feeding, and processing standards can carry the coveted labels like Jamon Iberico de Bellota. Each certified leg is traceable. From farm to plate, the seal guarantees that the pig was raised on acorns, had enough space to roam, and was cured using traditional methods. It's transparency that reinforces trust and value. Beyond the pigs themselves, the Dehesa plays a crucial environmental role. This unique ecosystem isn't just a pasture. It's a biodiverse landscape supporting hundreds of plant and animal species. Grazing by pigs helps maintain the forest's health. They clear underbrush, naturally fertilize the soil, and prevent overgrowth that could lead to forest fires. In a world where monoculture farming dominates, the Dehesa stands as a rare model of agricultural harmony with nature. The preservation of this system isn't just about food. It's about ecology. Sustainable grazing ensures that these forests remain productive for generations. And with each cured ham sold, the market helps support landowners and farmers who protect this delicate balance. Economically, Iberico ham is more than a niche product. It's a major export. Spain ships thousands of legs each year to high-end markets in Europe, Asia, and the Americas. But the impact runs deeper than numbers. Entire rural communities rely on this industry. From herders and acorn harvesters to butchers and curing masters, the process employs a wide range of skilled labor rooted in tradition. Many of these towns have been crafting cured meats for centuries. The techniques are passed down through families, not factories. For these regions, Iberico ham isn't just a business. It's identity. It attracts culinary tourism, preserves local customs, and helps small towns stay economically viable in a globalized world. When a leg of Iberico ham is sliced in a Tokyo restaurant or served in a New York tasting menu, it carries with it the story of land, animal, and artisan working together over time. And that time matters. Some hams are aged for over 3 years in natural cellars where temperature and humidity rise and fall with the seasons. There are no shortcuts. The aging process develops flavor, reduces moisture, and transforms the texture into something dense, smooth, and almost silky. It's not unlike how cheese or wine matures, each day adding depth. The result is a delicacy that defies mass production. Every leg is different, shaped by the diet of the pig, the condition of the forest, and the hand of the master curing it. It's an edible expression of terroir, the way a place, its climate, and its people come together in one product. So when we talk about Iberico ham, we're not just describing a piece of meat. We're talking about a slow, careful collaboration between nature, tradition, and taste. A luxury, yes, but one deeply rooted in the land that made it possible. After the pigs are raised, after the forests have done their part, and after the harvest, the true artistry of Iberico ham begins. This is where tradition meets technique, in a process that transforms raw meat into a luxury item through time, patience, and an extraordinary level of craftsmanship. The first step is salting. Each fresh leg of pork is carefully packed in sea salt by hand. This isn't just to preserve the meat. It's the foundation of flavor. The salt draws out moisture, firms the muscle, and begins the slow transformation from flesh to delicacy. The legs remain in salt for about 1 day per kilogram of weight. Then they are washed and transferred to a cold room. In this room, temperature is kept just above freezing, typically below 3 degrees Celsius, and humidity is maintained at over 90%. It's a carefully calibrated environment that allows the salt to penetrate deep into the muscle without drying out the surface. For roughly 2 weeks, the legs rest and adapt, gradually firming up as the curing process begins. From there, the hams are hung upside down, allowing gravity to help redistribute fat and moisture. This stage usually lasts around 90 days, though premium hams continue aging for months, sometimes even years. During this time, the temperature rises slowly and humidity decreases. The meat breathes, contracts, and matures. Enzymes break down proteins and fats, developing the complex aromas and silky textures that define top-tier Iberico ham. Quality control is relentless. At every stage, each leg is inspected for marbling, color, and texture. Specialists trained in the old methods, often called calidores, pierce the meat with a small bone needle and smell it. Just by scent, they can detect spoilage, inconsistency, or exceptional quality. Only those that meet exacting standards move forward. Once a leg passes inspection, it's heat branded with an official seal directly onto the rind. This stamp is more than a label. It guarantees the origin, confirms the producer, indicates the curing date, and proves authenticity. It's traceability you can taste, literally. But the process doesn't end with aging. For the sliced product line, precision becomes the priority. Each leg is gently molded into a consistent shape, chilled slightly to firm the meat, and then fed into high-tech slicers. These machines are equipped with ultra-sharp blades that glide through the ham, cutting slices as thin as 0.5 millimeters, so delicate they're almost translucent. This isn't just for aesthetics. Thin slicing releases the fat more evenly across the tongue, maximizing flavor in every bite. Packaging is equally refined. Slices are arranged by hand, sealed in vacuum packs, and labeled for gourmet markets worldwide. Whether it's for a luxury supermarket in Tokyo or a Michelin-starred restaurant in Paris, the presentation must match the prestige. And it doesn't stop with whole hams. Salt-cured sausages, made from premium cuts, herbs, and spices, are another prized product of this craft. These sausages are encased in either natural or synthetic casings, each with its own purpose. Natural casings breathe and shape the sausage more organically, while synthetic ones offer consistency and longer shelf life. The choice of casing impacts not only appearance, but also flavor, texture, and how the sausage ages. Once encased, the sausages are transferred to smoking chambers. Gentle heat and aromatic wood smoke sterilize the meat and infuse it with layers of flavor. Smoky, earthy, slightly sweet. Aging can take weeks or even months. Depending on the variety, the result is a firm, rich, and deeply savory product that holds its own next to the finest cured meats in the world. All of this effort, from aging cellars to slicing lines, serves a singular goal: to deliver a sensory experience that feels rare and refined. That's why Iberico ham and its cured cousins aren't just sold. They're gifted, served at weddings, corporate banquets, or tucked into wooden boxes as symbols of wealth and generosity. In fine dining, a few grams of Iberico can crown a dish with elegance. In homes across Europe and Asia, it's a centerpiece for celebration. Curing, in this context, is not just about preservation. It's about storytelling, of time, of place, and of people who have spent generations perfecting the slowest, most flavorful way to prepare meat. In a world chasing speed, this is one tradition that insists on waiting. And in every thin slice, that patience pays off. At first glance, a farm full of grasshoppers and a centuries-old cellar aging Iberico ham couldn't seem more different. One feels futuristic, almost experimental. The other, timeless and rooted in ritual. But beneath the surface, they share something vital: an approach to food that values sustainability, quality, and respect for the resources that make it all possible. Insects like grasshoppers offer a glimpse into a more efficient, adaptable future. They grow fast, require little land or water, and fit naturally into circular farming systems. They represent a shift toward meeting global protein needs without exhausting the planet. Innovation here isn't about high-tech machinery. It's about rethinking what we've long ignored. Meanwhile, the art of producing Iberico ham reminds us that the past still holds answers. This isn't just about indulgence. It's about the preservation of biodiversity, animal welfare, and the kind of deep craftsmanship that machines can't replicate. In every slow step, from forest to curing room, there's a commitment to excellence that modern mass production often overlooks. Together, these two worlds show us that the future of food doesn't have to choose between new and old. It can live in both, guided by nature, inspired by tradition, and shaped by human creativity. So here's a question: would you try a grasshopper protein bar? Would you pay hundreds, or even thousands, for a few slices of finely aged ham? And what does your answer say about how culture defines what we see as valuable, acceptable, or delicious? Whether it's from a quiet forest in Spain or a buzzing farm in China, the future of food may lie in respecting nature and using every opportunity to transform challenge into cuisine. Let us know in the comments what you'd be willing to try, and what you'd never put on your plate.